What's up, old school homies? Let's talk about the San Clemente Island goat. This is a weird goat that is considered a heritage species. So, it's basically a domesticated goat now. There's only about 400 in existence. Some in Canada, some in California. But they were removed from San Clemente Island because they were an invasive species. Pretty much any goat does go feral in most all countries. They're in Scotland and Europe. They're all over the world. Goats basically just eat grass or whatever's around until there's nothing left. And on an island, of course, this is going to be a problem because, especially on an island that has plant life that's important and only exists on that island, they decided to remove the goat after a while. The Spanish settlers brought it in 1875, and then by the time they wanted to remove it, I think there was about 27,000 of these goats in large groups. And the Navy had a base there, and the land was starting to get trails of goats all over it, and a lot of the shrubs were starting to get gone, and cactus was coming up. So they were like, all right, we're going to have to get rid of these goats. So they wanted to kill them. I mean, of course, the military is just going to be like, kill it, right? So the environmentalists were like, nah, we can't kill them. So they hired this guy to trap them. And I think he trapped about 7,000 of them. And then they said, the problem is gone. We've eradicated the goats. But they came back. And then they tried to, I think they tried to catch them with helicopters and nets. Yeah, that's California for you. They just like threw nets, and they were catching them like 4 at a time. They still couldn't get rid of them. And eventually they had to come out with this program called the Judas Goat Program or something. Now, in the Bible, Judas was basically credited as giving up, telling the Romans that Jesus was the king of the Jews, or he claimed to be king of the Jews, which was an offense to the Romans, and the Romans, killed Jesus. I don't mean to get all biblical, but they basically took 6 goats and put radio transmitters on them, and they went out to find other goats because goats are social. So when they went and found the other goats, they just shot them and killed them all, and then they let the 6 Judas goats live, I think. And at the end of the whole entire thing, there was only those 6 goats left, because the problem was every time they tried to trap these things, and why they had to bring in helicopters was they just went into the really steep areas. A goat can walk in places a person can't, and you'll never get rid of them all if they go into the remote steep areas. So it really took other goats with radio transmitters on them to find other goats, since they're kind of a herding animal. So they killed off most of them, sent some of them to the mainland to be a special endangered heritage breed. And they're kind of on the larger end of the dwarf goat. It's really interesting to me. I don't know why.